Let's talk about something that can literally make or break a restaurant before you even take a single bite. And no, I'm not talking about the food. I'm talking about the ambiance. We're going to explore how the design, the feel, the vibe of a place is often the most important ingredient on the entire menu. So just think about it for a second. What is it about your absolute favorite spot? You know that feeling you get the moment you walk through the door? It's not just because you're hungry, is it? Nah, there's something else going on. A kind of magic that sets the whole stage. And this quote, it just perfectly captures that feeling, doesn't it? It describes a promise. The whole idea is that the ambiance is the very first thing a customer experiences, and it has the power to turn just a simple meal into a memory you'll never forget. Okay, so how do you actually create that magic? Well, I can tell you it's not about just picking out some pretty chairs or a cool color for the walls. A truly great ambiance is built on a rock-solid strategic foundation, and that starts with two really key things: your brand and your customers. This is the absolute #1 rule. You have to know who you're talking to. You can't just copy-paste a design you love from somewhere else and expect it to work. I mean, a concept that's a huge hit in a chic downtown neighborhood could be a total disaster in a quiet, family-focused town. It is all about context and connection. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The source material tells this story about a restaurant that tried to take its sophisticated, big city vibe from Washington, D.C., and just drop it into rural Mississippi. And the result? A monumental flop. The customers they couldn't connect with it. Now compare that to Le Train Bleu in Paris. They leaned into their crazy, flamboyant, historic decor, creating this timeless, elegant experience that perfectly fits their brand story. Total success. All right, let's get to our main course, the whole sensory experience. This is where we break down the tangible stuff, the elements that create that unforgettable feeling by hitting our senses of sight, sound, and smell. First up is sight. And look, this is so much more than just the color of the walls or the art you hang up. It's everything your eye takes in, from how comfy the chairs look to the overall decor. But probably the most powerful tool you have here, it's lighting. You have to see lighting as strategic. It's basically an art form. Think about a place like La Meurice in Paris. During the day, all this beautiful natural light pours in and shows off the grand architecture. But then at night, the lighting gets low, and suddenly it's this intimate, super refined place. It's the exact same room telling two completely different stories, all thanks to light. And you can apply this logic absolutely anywhere. Installing dimmers? A total game changer. Using indirect light sources for a softer glow? Fantastic. The key thing to remember is adaptability. Your lighting for the lunch rush should be totally different from your lighting for a relaxed dinner service. Okay, next up, sound. And let me be clear, this is not just background noise, it is the active soundtrack to the entire dining experience. The right sound can totally elevate a meal, but the wrong one can absolutely ruin it. The source material could not be clearer about this. If your customers have to shout to be heard, they will not come back, period. The goal is easy, comfortable conversation. And, simple fixes like acoustic panels, some carpets, or even just heavy curtains can absorb so much sound and make a massive difference. Music can also be your secret weapon because it directly influences how your customers behave. For instance, the restaurant Les Fines Gueules in Paris plays this fun French music that makes guests just want to relax and hang out longer. But as a general rule, a faster tempo is great for encouraging quicker turnover at lunch, while quieter, slower music for dinner tells your guests to settle in, order another drink, and just enjoy. And finally, we get to the most powerful, most subconscious sense of all: smell. That scent of fresh bread baking or garlic roasting in a pan, that is not an accident. It is an invisible menu. It builds anticipation and makes you feel welcome before you even see the real menu. It's one of the reasons an open kitchen can be such a brilliant design choice. So we've talked all about the creative vision, but let's be real. A great idea is nothing if you can't execute it. So now we're going to get into the side dishes, the essential, practical realities that make it all happen. This is a huge one. Trying to cut corners by not hiring experienced pros, like architects or designers, it can be a catastrophic mistake. The source tells this cautionary tale about a restaurant that fell 3 months behind schedule, all because a novice architect totally mismanaged a building permit. And that delay, that little mistake, it cost them tens of thousands of euros in lost revenue. Just gone. This is exactly why you invest in professionals who don't just get your vision, but also know how to actually bring it to life without these super costly airs. But hey, a great atmosphere doesn't mean you have to break the bank. A place called Le Petit Clair in Paris created this warm, authentic vibe on a pretty limited budget, just using simple wooden tables and some cool vintage chairs. The key is to prioritize. Spend your money on what directly impacts the customer, their comfort, the lighting, and the sound. And please, always budget for the unexpected, because something will go wrong. A beautiful design is completely useless if it's not practical. This whole concept is called circulation or flow. You have to plan out clear paths for your staff that don't constantly have them weaving through customers. The source mentions this restaurant, 5/9, that's now closed. A big reason why? Constant traffic jams between the kitchen and the dining room that just destroyed their service. And let's talk about a detail that is anything but small: the restrooms. I don't care how incredible your food is or how stunning the decor is. A dirty restroom will instantly shatter the entire experience for a customer. It just screams a lack of care that people will, fairly or not, assume applies to your kitchen too. All right, let's wrap this all up with dessert. It's about bringing all of these different elements together to create your restaurant's unique, unforgettable signature experience. So, what's the big takeaway here? Ambience is not static. It's not a set it and forget it thing. A great restaurant is a living, breathing space. It adapts. It changes its lighting, its music, its entire mood throughout the day. Just serve a quick lunch crowd, and then later, folks who are looking for a long, relaxed dinner. Ultimately, every single choice, from the chairs to the lights to the playlist, it's all a word in the story your restaurant is telling. It communicates your brand, your values, and the promise you're making to your customer. So the final question I want to leave you with is this: what story do you want your restaurant to tell?